Ladies and gentlemen, we live our lives under the illusion of absolute control. We categorize our days, anchor ourselves in logic, and wear social masks to assure the world and ourselves that we are perfectly sane, entirely predictable, and fundamentally safe. 0344. But beneath the thin veneer of our conscious identity lies an uncharted ocean. It is a vast, subterranean world that the conscious mind rarely dares to look upon, the realm of the unconscious. 0344. In the winter of 1913, one of the greatest minds in human history, the Swiss psychiatrist Dr. Carl Jung, found himself standing at the edge of this very abyss. 108:15. Ostracized by his colleagues and stripped of his academic support structures, he entered what can only be described as a dark night of the soul. He began having terrifying, overwhelming visions, rivers of blood swallowing civilizations, and cosmic frost destroying life. To the outside observer, it looked like absolute madness. But Jung recognized a profound psychological truth. If he did not dare to plunge into the darkness voluntarily, the darkness would eventually rise up and consume him entirely. To map this inner wilderness, Jung did something revolutionary. He cast aside his clinical coldness, closed his eyes, and began an internal meditation. He fantasized that he was digging a hole into the earth, plunging deeper and deeper until he breached the cavern walls of his own mind. He documented this treacherous journey in a closely guarded, legendary text known as the Red Book. What he found there was not empty space. He encountered living, breathing archetypes, the ancient structures of human myth. He sat in dark caves beside a luminous, six-sided red crystal. He conversed with Elijah, the prophet of rigid wisdom, and Salome, the blind embodiment of raw, unbridled desire. He realized that these figures were not external ghosts. They were fractured pieces of his own soul, crying out to be heard. You see, my friends, Jung's divine madness teaches us a vital lesson about human nature. We cannot heal the parts of ourselves that we refuse to look at. We spend our lives running from our shadow, our flaws, our traumas, our repressed desires, and our deepest fears. We imprison our souls in a cell of sterile logic, pretending that if we ignore the darkness, it will simply vanish. But it does not vanish. It mutates into anxiety, into depression, and into a profound existential emptiness. Jung's journey shows us that the path to true self-knowledge requires a willingness to be spiritually stunned. It requires us to lay our heads on the stone door of our own pride and listen to the underground waters of our psyche. When Jung confronted the terrifying dualities within himself, the saint and the murderer, the prophet and the temptress, he didn't try to destroy them. Instead, he realized that light and darkness are mutually dependent. Just as a tree needs deep roots in the dark earth to reach toward the heavens, the human mind must integrate its shadow to achieve true wholeness. In his visions, the black serpent and the white serpent wrestled until they exchanged colors, proving that what we perceive as evil or terrifying is often just a latent force waiting to be illuminated and redeemed. Today, I challenge you to look inward. Do not be paralyzed by the fear of what you might find in the deeper layers of your mind. We are all caretakers of a vast, collective history, a repository of human creativity, symbols, and spiritual potential. The existential crises we face are not a sign of brokenness. They are the cracks in our old identities, forcing us to shed our skin so that a phoenix can rise from the ashes. As you navigate the chaotic landscape of our modern world, remember the old Greek mandate that Jung carried with him into the depths. Give away all thou possesses, then thou shalt receive. Give away your superficial certainty. Give away your absolute control. Dare to look beneath the surface. In the words of Dr. Carl Jung's modern chroniclers, dig deep, my friends, for it is only by voluntarily walking through the darkest caverns of our own souls that we can ever hope to step out into the brilliant, unclouded light of day. Thank you